心してよね。実際に折れたわけじゃないから。
何をした？何なんだお前。
降参ってことでいいかな。
降参。
じゃあ明日の決闘降りるって紀州へに言ってね。
So there have been a few different anime this season where our main protagonist, our main character, has been not dense, not dumb. You know, most of these anime, you know, that get created these days are very much centered around a protagonist. And for the most part, I would say about 80% of them typically have a male protagonist, and of that 80%, I would say about 75%, maybe 70%, are typically these main characters are surrounded by girls or females or women or ladies, and there's always a hint of like romance or harem-ish, or there's always a hint of something to where suggests like our main protagonist is being pursued by multiple girls, multiple women, whatever the case is. And that's just the way that anime is written. It's very much written in that, like, you know, Japanese man virgin mentality of wanting to be pursued by multiple women because you're the hero or very powerful or whatever the case is. And what tends to happen in most anime is we have these very dense characters who don't realize the obvious advances besides basically inserting themselves onto these characters. They basically have like the strongest advances ever. And in this specific episode, 𝐸𝐴, the maid girl, basically says, hey, can we spend a night together? And this dude, you know, this dude 𝐒𝐚𝐽𝐸 is just like, I'm not hungry, I don't know what you mean. And even and to take it a step further, even his familiar, his demon, you know, tells him straight up like, oh, she wants the cookie. You know what I mean? Like she wants to take the chocolate chips out the cookie. And he was like, no. You know what I mean? I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like, oh, we're here again. And this episode kind of came as a shock to me because there's been a couple of anime this winter season to where we have non-dense characters who can understand cues and advances, who are very well written like a normal human effing being. Right? Somebody who's not dead, especially this guy who's lived a whole life. He probably lived to 30 or 40 years old as an exorcist. And now he's a kid now, but like, yo, he lived a whole life. So you've been stupid for like 50 years, half a century, you've been dumb like this. Like, so anyways, I know it's not the point of the episode. You know, I know a lot of y'all are like, oh, why do you care about this, that? It's like, well, it's written in there, so I'm going to care about something that the author is trying to convey to me as the viewer. And that's just one of the things that I'm just like, caught me off guard and kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. I was like, oh, here we go again. Here's the other dense, dumb character who doesn't understand. Like, basically, these girls have to, they have to do 95% of the work. They basically got to go get themselves pregnant just to, like, show these characters that they're interested in them. It's just so irritating. But regardless, that was I would say this episode is 7 out of 10 because of that. I think that was such a strong, left us such a bad taste in my mouth that it poo-pooed on whatever the rest of the episode was. Now, the rest of the episode was good, though, so I hope you're still here. So the rest of the episode was good. I do like how 𝐒𝐚𝐽𝐸 has basically been planning to kind of appeal to his father once again to go into the magical academy. You know, he basically told him straight up in dinner, he's like, hey, for my reward of defeating this toad that he's been planning for like 6 months, this salamander that he defeated, he's been planning for 6 months. He basically summoned a big one-eyed, is it like an ogre or like a cyclops? He basically summoned like a cyclops to go and patrol the mountain that they live at to kind of draw this thing out so that he could defeat it and kind of have his moment in the light. So he asked his father, like, hey, you know, as my reward, two things. Let me go to the academy and let 𝐸𝐴 go with me, right? And his brother Gray, a big piece of crap this dude is. I think he deserves everything that came to him and more. You know, he lost his cookies, lost his mind about it, blah blah blah. You know, you're doing the family disjustice, and the father's like, no, I ain't doing the family disjustice. You know what? You're going to the army. You're gonna go to the army. He's gonna go to the school, and he lost his mind even more. He challenged him to a duel. 𝐒𝐚𝐽𝐸 embarrasses him 9 ways to Sunday. He makes him basically tell his father like he withdraws from the official duel. This dude tried to come out. He basically tried to kill this kid. And, you know, he got everything that he deserved that came with it. His other brother, what's his other brother's name? I forget. I don't think I wrote down his other brother. Luft. I did write down Luft. So his other brother, Luft, is actually really really nice. He's always kind of been looking out for Seika, and he gave him a really cool little pen because he's always writing and studying and stuff. He gave him a really nice looking pen for his birthday. So I loved how his other brother did recognize him. They have a pretty good relationship with each other. He's like, hey, be a good lord. He's like, hey, be a good student, stuff like that. So I thought that was a really sweet moment between him and his middle brother. I thought that was a really cool thing, that they have a really good relationship, although Gray is a piece of crap. And he's probably gonna get a little older. He's probably gonna come back once. He's probably gonna be a reoccurring theme throughout the season of trying to come back at least one more time to try and ruin him, but he's gonna fail, obviously. Then we got a really cool backstory for his father. Apparently, so the story we were told originally was that Seika is the child of his father from a concubine. Like, he's a concubine's kid. Basically, he was like, his father slept around, and that's how he was incepted. But we found out that that's not the case. That Seika was actually dropped off as a baby to his father, and he was told that that's Gilbert's kid, which is his brother, who is an adventurer who basically just disappeared. He went to some infernal place or something. He went to go investigate something after being an adventurer, going to the academy and stuff like that, and just kind of MIA'd. So Seika, the story is, that, which might not be the case, but Seika is the kid of that person, and he went and dropped it off to him. And the father's actually not stupid. He's had an eye on Seika since he was like a baby, because he could see that Seika could use magic at like 1 year old. So he thought that maybe he was a demon. He thought maybe he was the devil. Maybe he's he didn't know what his brother was up to. So that's why he tested him for mana and stuff. And he's basically been watching the kid ever since. And he has a good grasp that Seika doesn't use magic, that he uses some other form of arts, essentially. And that's how he was able to do the fireball and defeat the salamander. He can see the salamander was poisoned, not flamed. So he's very smart and intelligent. And he said he made a conscious decision when Seika presented this option to him, because he was like, Seika is going to be one of two things. He's either going to be the hero or he's going to be the villain, right? And he was like, I want to make sure that I give him all the tools to be the hero and not be a plague on this land due to his environment. I was like, so he's a very smart man. So I thought that was a really cool thing too. Then, Seika finally gets to the school, enrolls. He meets a commoner who is very similar and familiar to somebody who he knew in his past life, who we see in the ED. The ED kind of ruins it, but the ED basically shows us that he's going to have a really strong familiarity with this girl as well, so I think that's going to be pretty cool. So this definitely was a setup for what's to come. I'm very excited for what's to come next. It seems like they're going to enroll in school. They're probably going to have some kind of assignment, little adventure that they're going to be able to go on as well. It seems like they're going to do well in school, so that's going to be all really good as well. I just hope that the denseness by our main character ceases a little bit, because it's going to be kind of an annoyance throughout the season, because that always bothers me quite a bit. And that can plague an anime, because it's funny once when you're stupid, but then if there's several advances that keep coming to fruition and presenting themselves, it's not funny anymore. Now it's just really annoying. So hopefully it's not something that plagues the anime. It's just something like a one and done deal, and then the next time 𝐸FA presents herself, basically opens up business, hopefully Seika can own up to it or something. I don't know, we'll see. But regardless, let me know what you guys think. I know a lot of you guys don't like when I talk too much about that kind of stuff for whatever reason, but let me know what your thoughts are. Agreeable, disagreeable, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.